Good afternoon.
Afternoon. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. What impact did Micah have on yesterday's game, and just overall, since he's been here in less than 20 games, just speak to just how he's become ingrained with what you're doing?
I mean, Micah wreaks havoc. He's definitely a focal point for every one of our opponents. I mean, you could see that last year. We played him, exclusively, at the defensive end position yesterday. So, I mean, obviously had a huge game. And Captain Obvious question, Captain Obvious answer. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I was actually expecting a little better question from you coming out of the gate. So, not that he's not, he should be first. So.
That might be a jeopardy for question two.
Yeah, no.
Just piggybacking on Mike. What does he do for?
Of course.
What does he do for other guys? Though you saw him open up things. They gave him attention and opened up things for other guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's a perfect example. The definition of an elite player. I mean, elite players make everybody around them better, both on and off the field. And I think you're seeing him grow in more ways than one. But yes, I mean, he gets a lot of attention, whether it's sliding the line to him, having the back. What was it? I'm sorry, did I miss something?
That was strange. Well, that was.
David, at least you didn't have the worst question.
That was weird. Yeah, David, you're off the hook.
You wanted it now next to last.
Yeah.
He said
What did he say?
Commanders will win. So there's your bulletin board.
Oh, the Commanders will win.
I know what he said.
Oh,
He said communism.
Communism.
Oh, man.
Steer it in the
Social state.
My goodness.
I don't know where he came from.
Maybe we should start all over. And David,
Mike is a great player. Next question. And he played great yesterday. Again. So that was different. Yeah.
All right, 3 and out from the
Did you
group.
see him coming in?
actually going to Skylar.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. You said in that first answer, played exclusively at defensive end. I know you don't want to give away game plans, but and he said during training camp, I don't want to limit myself and where I am. I mean, do you see it leaning more that way going forward, or do you still see him bouncing around?
Well, I mean, really the philosophy of, how to utilize Micah hasn't changed. I mean, we have to continue to create targeting challenges for the offense. I think both his ability to play on and off the line of scrimmage is a huge asset for us, and also I think clearly gives us the opportunity to create matchups from different ways, different challenges that you're able to put on there. I just know from an offensive perspective, when you have to, it makes the offensive staff of the opponent work harder. The challenging of where he is either fourth rusher, is either fifth rusher. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to continue to create opportunities for him. So we won't change our approach.
John Machado, The Athletic. Cooper Rush after the game, at least on the field, seemed like about as excited as we've ever seen him in the press conference. Yeah, in the press conference, he wasn't like that at all. He was back to his normal self. How much do you think him having the demeanor that he has helps him late in the game in those type of situations where I think a lot of people will probably be nervous, and he probably isn't?
I mean, excellent point. I think you saw that in both the 2-minute drills. The offense was 2 for 2 in 2 minutes, and that really plays to his personality. So he's just very decisive. And I thought he played a really solid game yesterday, and had some. Had some plays that you obviously look at and grow from, but it's fun to see him excited because obviously that's him getting out of his comfort zone. But I think it clearly helps him in situational football.
Jane.
Oh wow, this is a fun day today. Yeah.
James Slater, NFL Network. We typically see Noah Brown pop in the preseason, and I know it's been 6 years since he's been here. Why do you think he was able to be as effective as he was last night? Is there something to his time with Cooper Rush working with the twos?
I mean, in my opinion, honestly, I think it's just the fact that he's given more opportunities. I mean, you look at Noah. I know in the prior 2 seasons, he wasn't given a lot of opportunities. It was mainly special teams, and he rotated in. I mean, just the fact that he's playing more, and the attention CD gets. In the passing game, he's cashing in on his opportunities. So, just couldn't be happier for Noah. I mean, he's worked so hard. I know my first year here, he's just coming back off of a major injury, and I know the training staff, because it's just like anything. You don't know these guys, and you're asking about them, and just the love that they had for him going through the rehab, and and I know I said it again yesterday, and I just to show the quality of the football player. I mean, how many number 2 receivers are your personal protector on your punt team? So I think that speaks volumes of how we feel about him, but most importantly, just the quality and toughness that he plays the game.
This is a Captain Obvious take 2. When you have a player like Dak Prescott who's going to be out for several games, a lot of times you'll see a team will take several games to adapt to playing without him. What does it say about your team's ability to adapt seemingly as quickly as it did yesterday for that and just going forward?
I think like anything, it just starts at the beginning of the week. I mean, the team, yes, we were disappointed the way week 1 went, and as far as how it came out. But I mean, I think like anything, the offense lost their starting left tackle. Then week 1 we lose their starting quarterback and starting right left guard. So, but that's what you spend the off season for. You have menus and concepts, and and frankly, I think our younger players were able to get a lot of work in the preseason games. But Cooper got to play a lot in the preseason games. So I mean, would have been able to play more if he wasn't hurt. So I think all those things play into it. So, but I think just start with Kellen and the offensive staff would just put together a game plan that we were able to stick with, and I thought. There really wasn't any blink from us. So I know there's conversation around the exterior here, but at the end of the day, I saw a team that practiced to win the game. It was a preparation. Clearly, was better from week 2 to week 1, and that's what you would expect. And I think because there's all the little stuff that has to get into place, your look teams and things like that. So, and I'm big into that. I think you just keep. Stacking success, keep building, keep grinding, make sure you're having opportunities for the young guys to develop, and keep the practice field competitive. Our defense had a hell of a practice too Thursday, and they stepped up huge. I mean, this offense, Cincinnati, we had a lot of respect for them. A lot of respect for Cincinnati's offense, especially their perimeter group. To hold them to no big plays in a game was, it's a huge feather in their cap for our defense. So special teams play big. I just love the last sequence. You get the punt to to pin them back. Great ball location by Brian, coverage. And then the defense gets the 3 and out. And then we get the return. Terp gets a nice return, and then we go down and throw 3 completions and run the ball and church clock it and win the game. So I mean, that's complimentary football. That's who we are, and that's the way we're going to play, and that's the way we want to play each and every week.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you about Turpin.
I ain't giving you that.
I was going to ask you about Turpin, but not just at the end of the game, but at the end of the first half. Yeah. I mean, the returns and the 20-yard at the end of the first half to set up the field goal, and then the 14-yard at the end of the game. How big were those plays? Yeah,
I mean, field position. I think we were plus 50, in the field position battle. So, and a lot of that comes down to special teams and defense, the 3 and outs, getting off the field. The time of possession obviously flipped in the second half. They had the 19-play drive, but we're playing a quality team. I mean, they played in the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they're the AFC champions. So I mean, we knew the challenge that we had going into it, but our guys just played our game. And that's what we have to do each and every week.
Mike Todd with ESPN. Why is 12 personnel so effective for you guys? And you have a Dalton and Schultz update.
Dalton, I know they feel better about the scan. I haven't specifically talked to Dalton yet, but so we'll just see how he is. We're going to give him every chance to try to go this week, but frankly, until we get to the end of the week, we're not gonna know. So, but 12 personnel has been. It's been great. I mean, it's just like anything, in today's NFL, just the way they roll the defensive personnel groups in and out there, and gives you a little. Better combinations in the run game part of it, and I give our young tight ends a lot of credit. And I think Peyton and Jake have been an excellent addition for us, and we have a lot of confidence in 12.
Jake Slater, NFL Network. We're a week removed from Dak Prescott's surgery, and I know that you've got the optimism of Jerry and Steven saying he could come back as early as week 4 against the Commanders. We saw him gripping the ball pregame. But as a coach, how do you temper the enthusiasm and optimism, but also wanting to make sure that you've got him there for the long haul and there's not further complications?
Well, I just believe, just like anything, when you're dealing with medical situations, when there's surgery, there's stitches, and he'll get his stitches out at some point this week, and that's the first threshold that I think you always want to get over before you get into timelines. That's my approach. So I'm looking forward to when he does get the stitches out. And hey, he's doing everything you think he would do. He's pushing the envelope and so forth, and he's getting the swelling down, and it's starting to look. It looks pretty good, but let's get the stitches out first.
Calvin.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Left side of your offensive line, you got some young guys there. How impressive have you been with the fact that you had to throw them in there so quick and
Yeah, they had tough matchups too yesterday too. Especially Matt, and I thought Tyler definitely took a step forward, and then they had some plays we'll definitely learn from. Tyler had a thump by Simeon that was excellent, but he still set like he wasn't getting thumped, and got beat inside. So so they had a handful of plays that they'll definitely be better from, but just two young men to just line up and play and keep playing, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, Tyler's an alpha. He's an alpha personality, and this is, he enjoys playing. So he definitely improved from week 1 to week 2.
that surprised you how young they are that they're able to kind of impress you a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just once again, you just want them to be confident and play free of mind, and I think they both did. They both did it. They're very competitive, and that's what they need to be. They're trying to play with the physical traits and consistency that's needed. So I thought they both took a step forward. I mean, like I said, Matt they both had tough challenges, but Matt gave up a lot of experience yesterday.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio, all the changes you've had at guard, you ended up with Luke Gifford, fullback, blocking yesterday, obviously scored on the play, but how do you do? And do you find the guys to be more engaged when they get to do fun
Yeah,
things?
I mean, Micah keeps trying to fight for that position, but I'm glad Luke ran in there and blew it up. So, no, Luke was excellent. I mean, and Zach Martin really, pinned the one technique down, and we had a nice crease in there. So, yeah, I think just for his one snap, he was a plus. So, I mean, he did a nice job.
Michael Gallup, Dallas Morning News. What's the plan to integrate Michael Gallup this week, including on Monday?
I mean, the plan for Michael Gallup is to get a full week's work, and he hasn't had that yet. So, and hopefully, when we get to the end of it, we'll be able to make a decision. I think I talked about this last week. I mean, I really want to see Michael go through a second padded practice. So I thought his work last week was excellent. He frankly did a little more than we anticipated at the beginning of the week. So we're going to try to give him a full slate this week and see how it goes.
Hey Coach, Haley Sutton with DallasCowboys.com. Today's my first day, and it's been a wild first day in here, but I've been told all day that the mood today is way better than it was last week. So I guess from your perspective, when you come in with a win after a tough week 1, how do the guys feel? What's the energy like, and what's your energy like?
Well, I mean, this is a moody bunch right here. I mean, they were a pain last week. There's no doubt about it. But no, I mean, the players are. Yeah, definitely. There's nothing like winning. I mean, that's what it's all about. It was a great locker room. The work has been good this morning. So, yeah, we got a long week ahead of us. But, yeah, this is the vibe you're looking for.
Pack.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Speaking of players that you're soon looking to have put on the field, Jason Peters. Initially, when he signed with the team, he said it'll probably take him about a couple weeks to acclimate. We're up against that as far as calendar-wise. Do you see him on the field full through?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's done a little more from week 1 to week 2, and we're looking for the same thing. So we really want to get him to the padded team periods, get him more work, and still build up the ramp up. So, that's the plan. We talked about it briefly this morning. Just as how much can he really go this week, and then we'll make a decision at the end of the week. We don't have anything. Both him and Michael, until we see those in Dalton, until we see these guys practice and get through the week, we'll have a better feel for it.
Babe.
Babe Lothmer, Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Cedric Wilson had been here, a number of years and almost got forced into playing last year, and obviously did well, parlayed that into something. Noah Brown had been here a long time. you always have to allow for players to kind of be something other than who you thought they were, or maybe the past regime thought they were with Noah and Sam.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's real important too. I mean, I think anytime you have an opportunity, I know this is the way I viewed it when I came in here. Today's NFL, you really don't, in my opinion, I don't think you have time to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I don't think you come in here, torch the earth and start over because you're basically just getting it all cleaned up for somebody else because it just takes too long, And so the fact is, you got to come in and I think the evaluation, especially being a new person coming in, you have your opinions. You've been away, you've competed against the team and so forth, and Noah's a good example of that. I mean, he was a hurt player in rehab when I arrived, but everything you heard about him has come to light. So, and that's why it's exciting to see what he's gone through and how he's done all the tough stuff, on special teams and being a role player and this is what it's all about because you can't have enough good football players, and you definitely don't want to be getting rid of somebody too soon or just because they were part of the past, regime. I just don't think that's smart, football roster development.
Right.
Jory Epstein, Yahoo Sports. Mike, you've talked about some of the comparisons between Micah and Clay Matthews. I think Micah reset the record for most sacks of a player's first 18 career games yesterday. Clay's up there too. What was the key for him in his second year to continue to have that success after the
Well, I just think the biggest thing is you got video. Now you got video. People are, trust me, when they played Dallas Cowboys, he's probably the first one they're talking about in their offensive room. So, the video, he has attention, he has a spotlight on him, it's brighter than ever. That's all part of, being successful in this league, because, once people have video on you and have different ways to, try to create phone booth situations because of your ability to rush, he'd see, it's a whole different level of exposure that he needs to keep working at, and because at the end of the day he's so disruptive. I mean, they're not just going to let him run free.
Can the same be said about Cooper Rush because this is now only his second career start?
It's fair. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, this is he has Minnesota, and it's I think those are the two most important games because he's in the same system with the same players. So yeah, I agree with that.
Cooper was a undrafted guy in 2017. Noah was a 7th round pick the same year. In your experience, is there maybe a little bit of a special bond with guys like that, fringe roster guys? Do they kind of create a bond in the time they spend together kind of fighting to stay on the roster?
Yeah, I agree. Those guys probably throwing a lot of balls together. You think about, they probably grew up on the look teams together. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. I watch Aaron Rodgers go through it. when he was backing up Brett. I mean, Brett, he's the ability to be on the look team and get connection with players and so forth. Yeah, I think that happens all over the league.
These injuries, obviously you'd rather not have them, but when they come early in the season, what does this do for the depth of your team to get the experience early at critical positions like offensive line, quarterback, safety, so forth?
Well, I mean, preferred would, you'd want to be a little further down the line before your young players play. I mean, that's been my experience because the reality is they're going to play in those November, the youth of your football team normally plays in the biggest games of the year, November, December. So, definitely this experience should pay forward. It's been my experience. So, but yeah, I mean, you don't ever want to have injuries, and if you're going to have them, you definitely rather have them at the beginning of the season.
Jane?
Did you take a moment just to celebrate the win last night, given that so many people sort of counted you guys out? You did it with the backup quarterback. I know it's probably back up here watching film, but did you take a moment just to breathe a little bit and say, got that one under our belt?
I got to really start working on my drama. Because there's times where I just don't feel like I fit in around here. I just yeah, I guess I did. I guess I'm just going to lie to everybody. Yeah, I took a moment. No, I went in there and got my press conference done as fast as I could. I got a shower, and my wife's out of town, so I got home to babysit the girls. So I had a big night.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.